Hey guys, so it's Monday evening, whatever, early evening, and not much has changed in here, or so it would appear. This thing is still sitting here. I was out here in the shop all day yesterday, but what I did was I went and I was moving more stuff around and put that Land Cruiser in the cargo container, and now I got a lot more room to work on this one, and when this one is done, more room to work on that one. So shouldn't be a big deal. That tire's going flat fast. I just pumped that up yesterday. Oh well, anyways, so I gotta do some cleanup in here. Find places for stuff that got moved around when I was moving vehicles. But if I have time, if that doesn't take me too long, which it shouldn't, I'm gonna pull the fuel tank out of here. I gotta drain it first, and that's all in preparation for pulling the engine and transmission, since I have to do the engine bay work on this guy. Right now, it's looking to me, and I won't tell Vicky this, but that it's quite likely that I'm going to fix this thing up and I'm going to keep it at least for another year. Once it's fixed up, we'll drive it for a year and maybe flip it then. But nevertheless, I'm going to get to it. Okay, I got the front of the car on ramps here, and I just thought I'd show you, or tell you what my game plan is. I also got two jack stands under it, under the A-arms as well. Okay, so I was trying to figure out a good way to do this, to work on this repairs without making it too ridiculously huge all at once. And I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from front to back. So I'm going to do everything in the front, I'll do everything in the middle, and do everything at the back, meaning that the engine, pulling the engine is going to be probably the second last thing that I do. The last thing being repairing the rear trunk and the back sail panel, or whatever you call it, the back valance, I guess it would be. Regardless, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the rust in the front. So I'll start with the trunk and the fenders, and any of the underbody at the front. There's a fair bit of work involved in this lip here. It quite badly corroded in a lot of places, like it's perforated right through into here. So I'm gonna have to be cutting out a lot of that. So hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm not sure how much of a curve it's at, but I can figure that out with a ruler. Regardless. Okay, so that's my game plan. I'll give you a first look underneath, first good look underneath. Okay, so up front here, and you can't see shit. It doesn't look so bad. I don't see anything too bad right up here. A little bit of crustiness right there. Yeah, a little bit of perforation right there, but I knew that there's a spot I have to repair on the outside, inside the fender well there. I popped out the drain plug that was here, and I can knock that one out as well. There's some perforation right here, and I'm assuming that was originally a drain hole, or maybe somebody drilled that after the fact. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock those out. I'm going to probably end up cutting out most of this whole section. I'll just delete the drain plugs and replicate the curve, and we'll go from there. If you look right there, you can see how bad the pedal box area is. Oops, I'm shading myself here. Give me a second. You can see how bad the pedal box area is. It's pretty badly perforated right there, and you can see it's been repaired once and slopped with probably undercoating again. So I'll have to rebuild that. But like I said, I'm working my way from the front to the back. As far as the rest of it goes, it looks like this passenger side floor has been patched. That looks like it's a great big patch of just flat sheet metal that somebody put in there. So I'll have a look at that and see how we go. You can get a passenger side patch. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to, and we'll wait and see how bad a job it is. I also want to reinforce those jacking points, so I'll probably take those off. I'm going to put a triangle of 14 gauge underneath it, and then I'll I'll either fabricate some new ones or buy some new ones. They're kind of expensive. They're 20 bucks a piece for those stupid little, donuts there. And that to me is a little unreasonable. Now, if we look up here, rack, brake cylinder, I don't know what else we're seeing here. I'm assuming that all this is wet that we're seeing under here is just somebody oil sprayed it at some point when they, before or after they undercoated it, or who in the hell knows what. Because I don't know where else it would be coming from, because I don't think there's an oil cooler on the front of this thing. So that's the only other place it could be, or the only thing it could be. It looks like that got a little corroded. There's a little boot here that's supposed to be over top of that switch, and obviously it slipped off, so I'll have to test that switch and make sure it works, but I'll probably redo all the hard lines. I don't think it would be particularly hard to do. You know, they're looking a little bit crusty. You can see the coating is flaking off them. And the reason why I put it up on jack stands right now is so that I can pull the fuel tank, which I'm assuming I'm looking right there at the fuel hoses, because there's going to be a return and a pickup. So I'm assuming that's what I'm seeing there. It looks like an awful lot of hose. I wonder if there's enough that I can just lift the tank out and disconnect it afterwards. I'll try it out and have a look. Apart from that, that's probably all I'm going to do today, because it's actually getting quite late. I spent a fair bit of time doing other stuff. Anyways, and at best, I'm only going to get 2 hours a night working on this thing on a weekday, so we'll leave it at that. Yeah, you can see there's no oil cooler on the front of this thing. I think some of them did come with an oil cooler, but that would have been awfully long oil lines if it was, if they did. Anyways, okay, I got the fuel tank out, and we look down here. Doesn't look too bad along there, but there. Oh, actually it seems pretty solid. I was a little worried about that. That sounds a little tinnier down there. I don't think it's too bad though. Okay, I'll give me a quick little bang right here. Yeah, I think it's just surface rust here. Okay, so we're good. So what I'll do tomorrow is we'll pull all this stuff out of here, I think, and then we will we'll look at cleaning this up. And I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to work this. If I'm working from the front to the back, does it mean that I'm going to cut in this stuff as I go along? That probably would make a lot of sense. I'll think about it and I'll let you guys know. But if I do it with, yeah, if I do cut everything in here in, I can put all this stuff back in not that long after I took it out, and I won't forget about how it went in. And then I can move on to the to the interior and the doors and the sills and all that sort of fun stuff. Anyways, guys, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for watching. Rating, commenting, subscribing. Just one last thing, guys. I had a little brainwave and decided I'm going to start writing the date I removed the parts off of the vehicle. That way I've got a reference for what it looked like at that point. So I wrote on here June 10th video. And that way I just know that if I go back to that exact video, I can see what it looked like when I took it out. Anyways, later guys.